Okay, we are in Yakov and Brachot, as on page 53b, and it says, Misha is, the Mishnah said, Misha achal, a person who ate something, who ate food, v'shachach v'lo birech, and he forgot to say the blessing after the meals. So you understand what happened. The guy eats, he had his meal, he said hamotzi, very nice. So then what happens is he forgot to bench, he forgot to say Birkat Hamazon, and he gets up. Beit Shammai omrim yachzor limkomo v'yivarech. So Beit Shammai ruled that in that case one should return to the place that he ate and say the blessing after the meals. Beit Hillel disagreed, and he said, no, Yivarech b'makom shenizkar, that he should make a blessing in the place that he remembers.
Interesting.
So what happens, basically what's happening is, according to Beit Shammai, if this is all in the case of, I forgot. There's not in the case of, l'chadchila, I can get up and I can go. Okay, if I get up and go, or if I do it on purpose, so then even Beit Hillel would agree that I should go back and to the place that I ate, and then make a blessing. It's only in the case that I forgot that we have this argument between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. Okay, very nice. So what happened was, we come to a discussion in the Gemara. Hanehu trei talmidei chacham talmidei. There were two students, two rabbinical students. Fine. Chad avid b'shogeg b'veit Shammai. So what happens? One inadvertently did, and it was by accident, b'shogeg, he forgot to bench. Still in all, he followed the opinion of Beit Shammai in that he went back to his place where he ate and he benched. What happens? V'yashkach arnika dahava. So what happened was he found a purse of gold coins. Okay.
When he went back.
When he went back, since as a result of following Beit Shammai, he went back, and lo and behold, he's benching, and he finds gold coins. Okay. Story one. Then you have Chad and V'chad Ava b'mezid. And one person did on purpose, he got up and he left the place where he was eating. And then Beit Hillel, he followed the opinion of Beit Hillel, said that if one does not have to return to the place. But again, that was only in a case of, I forgot, or I didn't, it was B'shokeg. Here the guy does b'mezid. So what happens?
And he knew he was leaving without
He knew he was leaving, and he
relying on what he thought was the halacha that he could say wherever he ended up at.
Right. Well, say so he can say when he's walking, I guess. So what happens? V'achle aryeh. So a lion ate him up. Okay, let's understand the case. We have a Gemara in Brachot, Mishnah in Brachot, I should say, that says, and we know this because we learned it in Mishmar on Thursday night, that there was one rabbi, there's an argument in the Mishnah about how to say Shema at night. And Beit Shammai says you should lie down, because it says when you lie down, you should say it. So he said one should lie down when saying the Shema. And Beit Hillel says, no, you can say it in any way you are, walking, talking, whatever it's going to be. This person, I forget his name, in the Mishnah, he decided he was on the road, and he decided to follow Beit Shammai. He lay down, and he says, and the crooks came, and they could have killed me, and they said, so the rabbis answered him, if you would have died, it would have been your fault. You would have been considered as someone who commits suicide because you followed the opinion of Beit Shammai, and we rule like Beit Hillel. So it seems that we're not supposed to rule like Beit Shammai. So how is it that in this case, where this person was stringent upon himself again, and followed the opinion of Beit Shammai by going back to his meal, by going back to the place he ate in order to bench, that he was rewarded with finding a purse of gold coins. That's the first question. The second question is, this guy did it b'mezid. Beit Hillel never said it b'mezid. They never said it on purpose. I'm leaving despite that. I remember I have to bench, but I don't have time to bench. Okay, so that's what the Iyun Yakov argues here. He says it's possible to say in this case that this one that did it according to Beit Shammai, even though that we said above that you would be obligated for yourself for your damages because you transgressed Beit Hillel, that was in that case. But here he would hold that even Beit Hillel agreed that it's better to do like Beit Shammai. But what they said was they didn't force you to do so. See, again, according to the Iyun Yakov, what's going on is in the case of person forgets and they forgot to bench, Beit Hillel obligates, Beit Shammai obligates you to go back to the place. Beit Hillel doesn't obligate you, but agrees with Beit Shammai that it would be better to go back. So they're not against it. Okay? And that's why this student that was following Beit Shammai, so what happened? He made peace between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, right? Because there was no real disagreement. It's just one gives a heter, one doesn't give a heter for it. So if I can fulfill both opinions, so I'm making peace between the opinions, and at that point, therefore, he was merited to the concept of you will eat the fruits in this world, and the principle that of the mitzvah will remain in the next world. 1 second, which is not the case of the other guy who does the opposite. He knows this is an argument, and what he does is he makes a distance between the rabbis by saying, I went with one side of the argument versus the other side. And even though he did it on purpose, he held that, like Beit Shammai, that he would, by Beit Hillel, that he would make a blessing where he was going, and that's why he was punished. Because in truth, b'mezid, and on purpose, even Beit Hillel would agree that you should return to your place. And so what he did was, he entered himself into an argument, and he was wrong about it, and therefore he's going to be punished. Yeah.
So in other words, the first case, who actually forgot.
Yeah.
He had to get someplace, and he actually forgot. Wasn't in his mind.
Correct.
When he got up and he got whatever it was outside the door, a little distance away, he said, I didn't bench. He acknowledged Beit Hillel, saying, well, I can bench where I'm at now, but I'm going to go back anyway.
Because even Beit Hillel would say that if possible, I should go back.
So he's putting both of them together.
Right, he's making peace between the two.
Right, the other guy says...
The other guy said, to give the other guy kaf sechut, I forget who does that.
Yeah.
The Eitz Yosef explains. He said the guy was eaten by a lion. She said, well, it's difficult because this person transgressed also the words of Beit Hillel, and Beit Hillel said you should do it the case only applies when he did a b'shogeg, by accident. But here b'mezid, when you do it on purpose, everybody agrees you go back. So it's possible that because of this question, Rashi wrote that one did it on purpose to make a blessing in another place that he needed to go to. Because Rashi says on that particular case, when it says one did it on purpose, he purposely got up from the place that he ate in order to make a blessing in another place that he needed to go to. In other words, this person has a need to get to an appointment on time. So according to the Eitz Yosef, what Rashi is teaching us there is that he was necessary for him to go. So then it was indeed permissible for him to do this. But so he's writing it to say, Okay, that's his kafsechut. I mean, that's what since he understood that since I have to go, really I can get up and I can rely upon Beit Hillel. I can follow Beit Hillel because even Beit Hillel would agree, he's arguing, that since I need to get to the appointment on time, I can bench on the way.
Wow.
Okay, so it's really putting together a lot of different arguments, but then you would have to go back to the Iyun Yakov and say, let's assume that the eighth Yosef is right, so why would he be punished? Because he made a war where it was not necessary to make a war. You don't get in between two mountains and just take one over the other, which is why, by the way, when you're looking at halachic questions to this very day, just because Rav Moshe Feinstein gave a leniency, let's say Chalav Israel, which, let's use that as an easy one. So it doesn't mean that I should rely upon that when other people are saying that we should only be drinking Chalav Israel. So that this argument would say if it's possible to fulfill both of those arguments, because even Rav Moshe would say it's not forbidden to drink Chalav Yisrael. And he would say, and he does say, a Balei Nefesh, one who cares about his soul, will drink Chalav Yisrael. So since he's already giving that sort of thing, even with everything else he says, all the great arguments he presents, by logic, if I want to be a good Talmud here, and I want to make peace between everybody, I would only have Chalav Yisrael. Or I would, when I can choose to be machmir without it really hurting any part of the picture, why not be machmir? That's what the argument that the Iyun Yakov is presenting. So, I can go lenient, and anybody who follows Rav Moshe like myself and eats non-Chalav Yisrael, fine. He gave a beautiful heter. It was well thought. Who am I to say well thought out? But it's well documented. It's well thought out. He has a lot of proofs for what he's saying, and he says, L'chadchila, you can do this. L'chadchila, by the way, he says it. For those who disagree with me, I look up his tshuva. 4 or 5 times he says, L'chadchila. In the first instance, we can have stam milk. It does not have to be Chalav Yisrael. It's not BDF for him. It's totally 100% L'chadchila. So but that, again, he's not going to argue on the people who says, if you want to keep it, you can keep it. Okay? It's like also mechitza. I have a choice of how to make a mechitza. I have the machmer opinion. I have the lenient. I have the stringent. Or I have the lenient opinion. It's up to, if I want to be in the middle. In other words, I want to satisfy everybody, so I put up a mechitza like we have here, a wall which you really can't see through. It's really difficult to see. I mean, I really have to gaze at that to see what's going on. Even if I gaze at it, I'm certainly not going to make out the people.
It's just a shadow.
It's a shadow, tops,
like you say, you have to gaze and strain.
You have to really look. You have to really look, and like I said, you really can't see it unless the sun is shooting it the right way. Okay. But that would be an example of being machmer. The shul's mechitz, on the other hand, is more to the makel side. It's more to the lenient side. Because that one is much easier to see through.
The top part because of the interleaving of the...
Right. So that's why some people at the shul don't like that mechitza.
There was one in, I forget what town it was in Massachusetts, Ariel went to. We took it to a bas mitzvah. Sunday, I got to see the inside of the shul. They had, I think the whole, I think the whole thing was a lattice structure, like a foot apart. I mean, it was just like huge open spaces.
Right. Was it Orthodox?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is still 25 years ago.
It could be. Like I said, it could have been the Orthodox, the rabbis fighting a lot of battles, possibly.
Yeah.
So it's, but those were the old days where you could get away with that. But like I said, it's that sort of thing as that would be, by the way, that would be the more lenient side as compared to the most stringent side. Yeah. So, what do you do?
Oh, it was in the 1980s. I visited an Orthodox shul in Palo Alto. They had a solid canvas curtain that was at least 8 feet tall.
So you can't see through that.
Can't see through it, can't see
There you
through
go.
it.
So they would be on the stringent side.
Oh.
Again, so by the way, when it comes to mechitza, two things break up a community: mechitza and eruv. Two things break it
How
up.
does an Eruv break it up?
Because-
By lack of one?
No, when they put it up, then people will argue. We don't want that thing defining where our boundaries are. So and then how do you know that from the frum side?
Who's it? From the Frum side?
From the frum side, that mechitza, that's not good. What you did, and there's a whole fight. Every single. There's two major things that divide a community: an eruv and the mechitza. Two things. They really mamish divide a community from community. From community. It's not good enough. I said this, or it's too good. Whatever. It's too machmer. Why do you do this so much? Okay. But it's so when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to these mechitzot, you have to know your community when you're building it. So I can be as stringent as I want, but if it's going to break up my community, so then, or if it's going to take people and have them go to the other side of the sitra acher, if you will, the other side of this. So what's the use of it? I haven't done anything. If I'm going by putting up an eruv, if I'm going to estrange half of my community, and if you look at these religious communities like Muncie, where they have more eruvin than, as one person said, with all the string they put up, it could go around the world 3 times. Okay, that's how many string is around everybody's houses and different things. It's mishigas. But what happens is, if there's some people in the community, big people who don't hold by that, so now you have the string, and they're announcing the eruv's down, the eruv's up. But what do you mean the eruv's down? We have 5 eruv in here. How can it be down? They're all going around the same area. My eruv is down, your eruv is up. Okay, so
It's like Chicago. The Machlokos in Western Avenue carries a huge amount of traffic. There's a big Machlokos.
right. So they all they have in Brooklyn. Eruvin break up a community. It's amazing because it's supposed to bind the community together.
Yeah.
It really hurts the community. Many times it'll hurt the community. But like I said, but following the Iyun Yakov, you would want to always be machmer. Now, I'm not saying that it's good to be machmer, by the way. It's not always good to be stringent. Sometimes you have to be lenient. Sometimes you have to. You should always look for the golden rule to go in the middle. But if there's a time that I can fulfill both opinions, so I should. There's no reason to take one side of the argument versus the other. I don't have to always jump on the other side. Either side. I don't have to jump on either side. So if I can ever find the middle road between them and satisfy both opinions, that's the Iyun Yakov, I should do it. Doesn't hurt me. Okay? In general, though, certainly in Gemara language, we would always rule by Beit Hillel. And against Beit Shammai. And the other example of going machmer was the first thing I said was when the rabbi got off his horse, or whatever he was doing, to say Shema, lay down, and then the crooks came. That's being machmer, that's being stringent when you don't have to be. And that would have, if he would have been damaged, it would have been his fault. So the rabbis really do show you that it's not always good to make the fight or to find the common ground. Sometimes you move, okay? So it's, now the next case. Okay, you ready? This is an interesting case. So Rava Barchana Hava Ka'azu B'Shiyata. So Rabbi Baruch Chana was traveling in a caravan. Achal Lovarech. When the caravan came to a halt, he ate and forgot and did not recite the Birkat Hamazon. So now the caravan goes back to starts to travel, and he realized, didn't say Shema, it didn't say, I didn't bench. So Amar, he said to himself, what should I do? If I tell him I forgot to say Birkat Hamazon, Amruli, they'll tell me Brich Kol Hecha de Mevarcht, the Rachman Mevarchat. So they will say to me, recite the Birkat Hamazon here. For wherever you cite the Birkat Hamazon, you are blessing the merciful one. Okay, they would have known Beit Hillel. This is a case of Beit Hillel where I don't have to go back because it's dangerous to go back.
Yeah.
I can't stay there. I can't go back with a caravan. So if I would leave the caravan, I could get lost. It's no good. So either I turn the whole caravan around, or I just bench where I am. So he said, if I tell them I forgot to bench. They're going to say to me, give me a break. Bench now. Can you imagine you're on the road, you went with your kids, and you're with your...
Maybe you traveled a mile or two already, in other words, he's saying.
You're on the road, you're on 95, you're on Route 95, you're going 65 miles an hour, and I always pick on Massachusetts. You're on 80. You're on 80 and you're going 75 miles an hour, and you want to get to a certain place by a certain time, whatever, and suddenly your daughter says to you, "Oh, Dad, I forgot to bench. Can we please go back? Right? Can we please go back? Please turn the car around. So I want to fulfill the mitzvah according to Beit Shammai. And since I want to make peace between the world, it should be worthwhile for you, right, Dad?" And you say to your daughter, Beit Hillel says, "Bench now." Leave me alone, okay? That's for benching purposes. Look what happens though. He says, "Mutav da'amina luhu ansha yona dahava." Therefore, it's better that I lie, and I say to them, "I forgot a golden dove." For then they'll stop and allow me to return and retrieve it. So Amalahu, he said to them, in Taruli, the Insha Yona Dahava, wait for me, please wait for me, because I forgot a golden dove.
What's a golden dove?
A dove made of gold. I forgot my wallet. Can we please go back? I forgot the tickets to the plane. In other words, what's basically coming out of here is I lost something of value that you will recognize as value. Can you please wait for me, or will you go back? So now think about that. If suddenly your daughter told you, "Dad, I know you're not going to like me for this." She wants to go back to bench. "I know you're not going to like me for this. I'm sorry, but I forgot all our traveler checks in the restaurant." You're going to turn that car around so quickly.
Yeah.
Now, anyways, watching this doesn't know what traveler checks are. Do they still have traveler checks? They don't have any, do they?
I think they do.
Oh, that's true. They still do? Okay. I don't know. I remember my father used to get them.
I haven't used them in an awful long time.
I know my father used to get them all the time. But it's okay, whatever it is. We lost the piggy bank, and so you're gonna turn around because it's worthwhile, right? That you're gonna turn around for. You're gonna be angry, but you're gonna turn around. So what they did was they did that. Azal uvarich. So he went back and he benched, following Beit Shammai. Vashkach yonah dahava, and he found a golden dove in that place. And that was the reward. The reward was, you said something, Hashem doesn't want to make you a liar. You're fulfilling the mitzvah, making peace again between the two groups. So I'm going to give you a reward. So what we're learning here is a very basic lesson. That really, lechatchila, I should go back, if possible, I should go back to bench where I ate, which is what we should do today, by the way. If you make let's say you eat in this room, and you went out there to the other room, but you ate here, you made the most here, you should come back to here and bench. You don't have to sit exactly in the same seat.
It was a big room, in other words, you could see where you were before.
Right, I don't have to sit in the same exact seat, but I should sit wherever I ate is where I should bench. So I should definitely go back to where there's lechatchila according to everybody's agree. Let's say I forgot to do it. If it's not going to hold me up too much, I should certainly go back and bench in the place. Again, I don't have to be sitting in the exact seat, but in the area I should do it. So if I'm in the rest stops, we get out in the rest stop and we want to sit, and so we sit down by the picnic table. And then what happens is we're playing, whatever we're doing, and so we get in the car and someone says, "Oh, I didn't bench." You should not stay in the car, you should go back to the picnic table. Okay? That's what should happen. And nobody, like I said, was the only time that Beit Hillel was given the leniency is if I'm on the road or doing something, and to go back, it would take too much time up. And I'm going to lose too much. I'm not going to have the kavanah. I'm not going to have the right intent for this. I'm going to start hating mitzvot, whatever the case is going to be. So then I shouldn't do it already. Fine. So now the Gemara says about this golden a dove, which you asked about.
Yeah.
She says, Umashna Yona, and what's unique about this dove? Dimtile Knesset Yisrael Yona. For the congregation of Israel is compared to a dove. Dichtiv, as is written, Kanfe Yona Nechpa Bakesef Uvroteha Birakrach Charutz. You will be like the wings of a dove coated with silver, and her opinions with brilliant gold. Ma Yona ena nitzolet ella bichnafeh. And just as a dove is not saved except through her wings of Yisrael, enan netzulen ella b'mitzvot. So too Israel is not saved except through the commandments that it performs. So really, that's what is going on. That we're compared to as a dove. So he said, if I'm going to do a mitzvah, I'm going to do an extra mitzvah. So that mitzvah is what's going to protect me while I'm going back. It didn't work for the rabbi it actually did work. He didn't get killed. But it's for the rabbi in the beginning of Brachot, where he was following Beit Shammai versus Beit Hillel. But it's that's what he's relying upon here. So that's why he picked on the golden dove. The gold was just so people would let him go back. Mm-hmm. And now what happens? He comes back. Because can you imagine if he would have, by the way, if this story didn't work out and he would have just come back and without the golden dove, they would have asked him, well, where's your golden dove? So what's he going to say? Somebody stole it. Yeah, it disappeared, it flew away. So this way Hashem made his words work out. Okay.
This is referencing sound that it comes from. Does it say what the overall, what the psalm is talking about beyond? He's pulling out of context.
So the verse is speaking of the Jewish nation. She saves herself by either flying away with her wings or by fighting with her wings, in contrast to other birds which fight with their beaks. Since Israel is likened to a dove, and the commandments are likened to the dove's wings, which protect it, Rabbi Babrachana likened his returning for the mitzvah Birkat Hamazon, for the returning for a golden dove. Okay? So that would be what it is. And lastly, I just want to finish this up. We're going to finish the paragraph right now. So it's Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav, Amri Lev Matnita. So Rav Yehuda said the name of Rav. I don't know. Do you still have that? Is it in your book yet?
No, mine goes to 54A after that.
Oh, okay. So that book, I tell you should get a refund for that book. It's worth it. It's worth it. It really is. I don't know what they do with that. Anyway, so what happens is it says Tana v'hit kadishtem, that you will be sanctified. Elu ma'amri shonim. This is referring to the first waters. In other words, when we wash our hands before bread. Vahitam kedoshim, and you will be holy. Elu ma'am achron. These are the later, the after waters, the waters that you would use after you ate. Why do we wash our hands after we ate? So that's referring to because of the, what do you call it? The melech sodomit, the sodomite salt that they would use. It was dangerous for your eyes, and people were concerned. They were eating with their hands, and so the concern is you're going to go like this to clean your eye out. Now you can get blind, God forbid, and so that's not good. So that's why we would have mayim acharonim, which is why these Germans, following Tosfot, don't use mayim acharonim, because they eat with their hands and not with, they eat with their forks and knives. They're very civilized, and they don't eat with their hands, unlike the Polish Jews. No. But that's really what I remember hearing that. But every other person eats with their hands. It's like, how do you eat fried chicken? You don't eat it with a fork and a knife, right? You eat it with your hands. Not Germans. Germans eat with the fork and a knife. Okay. I don't know what Germans do today, but, they were supposed to be the prim and proper people. Okay, and so now what you're hearing, and this is why the rest of the Jews, besides Germans, will wash the Dumai Macharonim, because it's going on the pasuk, namely the Vahitim Kadoshim, and you will be holy. So once it says, we're basing it upon you shall become holy, that once it's a verse of holiness, So it's just like the first part. I have to Mayim Rishonim. I have to wash my hands before eating bread. So also I have to wash my hands after eating bread. But it's not a matter of cleanliness. No. It's a matter of purity. So now I'm going to give in the last. You'll like this one, Bill. You should also like this one, Mr. Arnstein. The words tameh and tahor.
Yeah.
Okay, tameh. For anybody who's watching this, I hope they watch this. Okay, because it's 30 minutes into. I don't know who's going to watch, but it's tameh. We normally translate it as spiritually impure. Tahor is spiritually pure. Interesting thing. I was thinking about those words today, and because of all the commentaries that dealt with these situations. So tameh, according to the Jastrow dictionary, is comparable to the word tamam, which means stopped up. Stopped up. You can't get things through. It's blocked. There's a block going on there. And that's what we call timtum halev, where you block the heart. You know, you won't allow certain things, spiritual things to get into you. It's what we call timtum halev. So tameh is a derivative, could be a derivative of that word, which means that it's not impure. What makes it the whole concept impure is I don't allow the purity to penetrate into me. I stop it. Okay, I'm blocking it. As compared to tahor, which it comes from tihar. Well, derivative is tihar, which means bright, shining. I'm illuminating. When I'm pure, I allow the mitzvot to illuminate things. So you like that? It's very nice. So it's not spiritually pure versus spiritually impure. It's blockades, a spiritual block versus a spiritual light. So that's something like I said, if anybody watches that, I hope they get that to 31 minutes here. But okay, we'll stop here.
Very good.